This week with Friday Frenzy, stranger, the kindest stranger ever touches us at Novak, and auction madness. So it's been an incredible week. Stay tuned. We'll talk about it right now.
Wow. Friday again. Those weeks, they're just going like that. They're going like that. It's certainly been quite the week though, hasn't it, Mark?
What a start with the auction. So the auction on the Saturday morning at 9 o'clock in Manly, the highest price paid in Australia for an auction in that week, 21.5. That it went for, and in a 400 metre square block, an original home where they got to spend 3, 4, 5 million, and an investor buys it.
Yes, highest price ever paid in Manly per square metre. I don't actually think, I said to Mike this morning, I don't actually know that I ever got on air and actually spoke about what went on behind the scenes at that auction. So, besides the phenomenal setup, which we do for every auction, that was particularly a special one though. But, were we hoping to crack that kind of record? We certainly weren't expecting that it was going to go as high as it did, I'll be honest. The reserve, which I was given that morning from my vendor, was at 19.5. which we later had reduced during the auction to 19 mil. But there was so much,
which was super, which I thought was super optimistic by the tune of $2-3 million.
Agreed. So, but we had quite a lot of bidders there, and we certainly had, as anyone that was watching the auction would have seen, there were some red hot contenders right there at the 11th hour. But what was interesting, Mark, was that we had the gentleman who purchased the property, who was a very, very well-known vascular surgeon. He bid against himself. Now, there's certain things that happened at this auction that are just, we just don't see on an auction floor.
It was if you get the chance, it's a 45-minute auction. 37 minutes, I think, is where
35
is where the magic starts to happen. But it is well worth watching that 45 minutes. If you're on our YouTube, Facebook, or Insta, watch it. Chuck it up on the telly, blow by blow. It's better than anything out of Netflix. For 45 minutes,
we closed the streets of Manly.
Entertainment.
We literally closed the streets. But, at 16.5, the bidding stalled. So we had 9 registered bidders, and at 16.5, that bidding stalled. The highest bidder at that moment was the vascular surgeon that purchased the property. Now, there was a lot going on behind the scenes. My God, I honestly, I slept very well on Saturday night. There was a lot going on, as I said, behind the scenes in that kitchen at auction. And you're under the pump. I mean, for any agents that are watching, when you're having to get instructions and you've got an auction going, you want to keep that momentum. So time is well and truly of the essence.
And I do have to say, on the sidelines, like I was watching this 4-week campaign, Lisa running it, I've never seen you work that hard in your life.
I had to put concealer under my eyes today because my bags are significant.
I have never seen you work that hard in your life. It was awful to watch, because I'm thinking, like, my poor wife, and at home and at work, I'm thinking, poor lady, poor sales lady. But it was just relentless. It was ruthless. It was crazy the amount of work that I saw you put into that campaign. And I guess in hindsight, there's 350 inquiries there, and people that you've got to nurture, understand, negotiate, price discovery with, have a chat. It was a big, long, like they were serious 18-hour days, 19-hour days, all the way leading up to that. So it was beautiful to watch at the same time, but it was hard to watch at the same time.
There was a lot of work that was going on under the iceberg there, I can assure you. But, to get an underbidder, Mark, I think what a lot of people don't realise, I beg your pardon, not an underbidder, but to get the highest bidder, who was 16.5, to then bid against himself and get him up $2.5 million.
What does that conversation sound like?
So I went up to I ended up getting instructions from my vendor because the gap was so big, guys. You've got to understand that the bidding stalled at 16.5,
So
and then the reserve I had amended to 19 mil.
So he's standing there. There's like 200 people there around. He's standing there. He's just like that. What do you say to him?
So I had gotten instructions from my vendor. I came up with a strategy and had gotten instructions from my vendor to actually go up to the highest bidder and show him the reserve. So I walked straight up to him and just had an honest conversation and said, look, we're quite far off from the reserve. I'm just going to let you know we're not selling for a cent under it today. There's absolutely no negotiation there. I have had it amended from 19.5 to 19 mil, and I showed him the reserve letter, and I just said, this is it. We're at crunch time. The property, we've got quite a lot of interest from people that just didn't come to the auction or simply weren't ready with their finance, but they're ready to buy the property at a very, very significant level. It's up to you. What would you like to do? And I said, I'll leave it with you. And I walked away.
Just like that.
Then they called me back over and said, okay, well, if we raise our card at 19, is the property ours? And I said, look, obviously there's no exclusivity. We're still in an auction scenario here. I said, but looking around, that bidding stalled at 16.5.
Clearly.
Yeah. And then he said, okay, all right, we're going to do it. So he put his card up at 19 mil. And then we had that, I call him George Clooney. Like, that guy literally came out of nowhere. Now, he was bidding on behalf of someone else.
But he never made a bid the whole auction.
No.
So for 35 minutes, the guy stood there, didn't say it or a thing, didn't do a thing. We didn't know we knew he'd registered. He was one of the registered guys, but he was like...
But there was a couple of people there that are registered that did not do a thing during the auction. So,
How many people registered, can you say?
There were 9 altogether. We had 9 registered.
9 people with that much money.
Yeah. Well, if you watch the video, you'll note that, about half of those people actually did not bid, of which he was one.
Yeah.
And that hammer was 1 millisecond off falling, and then boom, 19.5.
If you watch the auction, Vic LaRusso goes, first call, second call, third and final call, going, and this is at 19. 19? Yeah, this is at 19.
Yep,
going,
19.
And he's got the gavel, he's got his contract, his contract in his hand, I think it was, or gavel, and he's runs it like that, and he's literally like,
I know, it was crazy,
3 centimeters away, and the guy goes 19.5. $500,000 more.
You could hear the reaction from that crowd.
Well, I called it the 18th century beheading. When the crowd goes gasps.
Yeah.
Like everyone was shocked that this guy bid it on himself from 16.5 to 19.
Yeah.
And they're already in shock. And then to see that happen, and everyone's thinking, mate, where were you?
Yeah.
Where were you the whole time?
And
so
then
it
was
come out $500,000 more, which is actually $3 million more than where it stopped.
No, that's exactly right. And I think it's, as I said, it's significant to say that, there was a lot of strategizing going on in that kitchen that day. There was a lot, between myself, my vendor, and Vic LaRusso, the auctioneer, who was phenomenal. Honestly, I hands down, I do believe he's one of the best auctioneers in the country. Vic does all of our auctions. And he's a beautiful, beautiful man.
And actually, we grew up in the same street.
But yes, you did.
Coots Crescent, Colleroy, Vic LaRusso, and I.
Yeah. Yes,
20
you did.
years. We never met each other.
But what a phenomenal result.
Didn't meet each other for 20 years. And it was a quiet street as well. Anyway.
But you know what? And congratulations to everyone, to my vendor, who I absolutely adore. Mark, you know how much I just love and adore my vendors.
You have a beautiful relationship with those guys.
We have got an amazing relationship. Oh, Mark's just decided to clean the screen. But we really do, we do have a very amazing relationship. There was no other agent that was called in on that property. And
but how'd you get it? Everyone asks.
Okay, so many years ago,
quickly, because we've still got to talk about
Okay.
the most beautiful stranger in the world
All right.
in a second.
Many years ago, I was called in to do an appraisal on a 2-bedroom apartment in Redmond Road, DY,
Yeah.
which is one of the cheaper areas of DY.
Yeah.
Long story short, I listed the property for that vendor, had absolutely no idea about any property in Manly, and really looked after her. She was not a well lady at that stage, but we just had so many things in common, like so many things, backgrounds and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, we formed over the years a phenomenal relationship. And to this day, once a month, Mark, we catch up, we have our tea and cakes and do all that sort of stuff. And, we just have a great catch up. And that's been going on for years and years and years. And when it came, she was never going to sell Riddell Street. She was never going to sell the house in Manly. It was going to be kept in the family for a really long time. But things change.
Things change, and quick.
And it changed quickly.
But I do have to say that with your agent, if you don't have that with your agent, I don't think you may not be able to find it at all. But I think the connection that you guys had from the day that you'd met, which had been going on for a long time, is a beautiful thing. And I think there's trust there, and it's cool.
Oh,
so if you can find that with your agent, I think when people are interviewing agents, it's nice they answer the questions correctly. But I think it's also nice that you feel good about them.
Yeah, and and then to not have any other agent called in. So, even with respect to pricing, I mean, pricing up a property like that is just near impossible. We've got to have something on our agency agreements, but it's a very, very hard thing to do, and to trust that I came to them with my opinion of value, and again, that they trusted that and didn't call any other agents in. There was no other agent.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's the auction campaign. Friday Frenzy. Something I want to talk about is I was touched yesterday in a good way. I was sitting in the office and I deployed one of the guys, Easy E, Tom from
Mark calls him Easy
E, Tom from the office, to go put up a sign on a commercial property. And this is a reverse sign, so it's a sticker sign. This is a beautiful story. It's a reverse sign, so it's a sticker sign. It's about 1/2 metre by 1/2 metre. You stick it on the inside of the window, and it says for lease. Okay, that's simple. So I'll give you an example in a sec. So what happens is he goes out there, and I said, you got to spray first, right? Bubbles. Then you got to put the sticker down. Then you got to slide the sticker on, much like a sold sticker, but it's a reverse sold sticker in a way. And you put it on the inside of the glass. I said, put as many as you can. Pepper it. And he's like, okay, never done. This guy's 18. He's cool dude. Anyway, we're there, we're doing that. So he's like, go through a second time, go through a third time. How do you get the keys? He goes, yep, done. Anyway, he comes back to the office, and he says, mate, I did it. I said, great. Did you get a photo? He goes, no. I said, okay. He goes, you want me to get a photo? I said, don't worry about it. I'll check it out next time.
Yep.
This is so beautiful. 20 minutes later, this arrives. I don't know if you can see this. No, it's up here. It's up here. It's up here.
You got it? Yeah.
Right? 20 minutes later, okay, this arrives into the office. A lady drops a window film applicator, a razor blade, and a dual slide soft edge window film tool with a Bunnings receipt for $20 that she went and bought at 5:19 p.m. So a lady, and this is like talk about, she's there she's watching this kid struggling putting this up in the window. She goes to Bunnings, which is 10 minutes away. It's not in DY Bunnings. She buys a window applicator, drops it to the office, and says there's a boy that was putting a sign up and he was struggling, and please give him this from me.
Then last night we received, at about 10 o'clock last night, we received an email. Can I read this out? Have we got a moment to read it out?
Yeah. This is the most beautiful person. This, honestly, and it's not about thousands of dollars, or it's just about the thought that counts. This is one of the most beautiful things I've seen in my business.
So then we received this email. Dear Mark and Lisa, I think I'm sending this to the correct upper management. I'm no one in the scheme of things, but I watched one of your staff members today try his damn freaking hardest to stick your signs on a commercial building. He kept going until he could get it right. He had pride in his work that had been given. He had never done it before. He didn't have the right tools. I could tell he wanted to be the best he could be, but had been given a very simple yet really tricky task that he had not been educated on. I went to help him. I don't like to see anyone struggle if I can help. He cares that he is doing his job and was trying to make the best effort he could, even when he hadn't been educated through his workplace on a new experience as simple as a sticker on glass. The bloke has potential. He cares and he wants to do well. I'm only sending this so you know what an outsider had observed about one of your staff. Like I said, I'm nothing in the big scheme of things, but the bloke was sweating in his work jacket putting up those signs for you. He didn't want to take it off, I'm assuming because of the appearances. He cares that he's making a good impression for your company. He was polite and came across as a genuine person. I dropped off some tools for him to use this evening at your office. I was surprised you didn't know about them. Please ensure they are given to him. I brought them solely for him. I hope you that you understand the potential this bloke has. Kind regards, Emma.
Emma, one of the most beautiful ladies in the world, lives in DY, and thank you for your absolute, that is...
What an incredible person. And here's the thing, guys, here's the message, and I actually wrote this out to Emma and also to all of the staff, but it's the things, what matters is how you act when no one's watching.
Yeah.
Everyone's on their best behaviour when everyone is watching.
Yeah. When you want recognition. This is like the most thankless thing.
What a legend. Yeah. What a legend. So well done to you, Thomas. Absolutely well done to you.
Yeah.
And Emma, God, we need more people like you in our community.
Imagine if the world was full of Emmas.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's a massive message in that. There really is. And, you hear about those stories, Mark, where, someone had a wonderful school teacher that changed someone's life forever.
That's the type of person.
That's it. These people have got the capabilities of doing that.
Yeah. They move through the world. They do these thoughtless things and thoughtful things.
Yeah.
And they make changes in people's life. And that, for me, man, I've been an agent for 30 years, and that's close to the top, if not the top of the crop, with most beautiful things I've seen people do. I know we may be going on about it a little bit, but I think maybe it's just timing or just surprise or what it is. But Emma is a beautiful lady.
Yeah.
And today, if we can all do an Emma task in our world, that's pretty cool.
What a difference it makes to people. Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's it, guys. I reckon that's a show. There's a few comments here. Should we just go through some of those, Mark?
Yep.
Start from the top. I can't read from there. I don't have my glasses on.
Wow. Friday Frenzy Luke says another 21. Yeah, it could be another $21 million property.
Stay tuned.
Could be coming. Yeah, you've done lots of appraisals in the last couple of days.
Yeah, stay tuned. Oh my goodness.
You got some great buyers.
Actually,
wow.
Yes, I've been called into about 8 appraisals a day.
Yep. Luke's on the edge of his seat, and Luke, thank you for your support. You're a legend.
Absolute legend. Been there right from the beginning. Do we ever sleep? Okay, Maritza, can you see these bags under my eyes? It's been we do not for very long though. We're up bright and early this morning. So exciting, Michelle. Hope you're well, my love. All right, I think that's
Michelle,
it.
I want to do a morning minutes with Michelle.
Yes. Let's do a morning minutes with the people that have been so supportive through all of our socials. Do you want to do that?
We'll do like a Brady bunch.
Let's do that, guys.
We'll have like 6 of us. I think we can get 6 of us on the screen.
Yeah, let's do that. We're gonna hit you guys up. All those people that have been following us right from the beginning, we're gonna hit you up. Anthony says this is better than radio. Keep it up. There's been a lot of interviews this week, I can assure you, but thank you. That's it, guys. That's it for us.
Have a beautiful weekend.
Thank you for all your support this week and every other week as well.
Congrats on the auction.
Thank you.
And Emma, we love you. You're a beautiful lady. Hope you enjoyed that story.